Hello everybody, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Today we're flying the FlightFX Citation 10 from Springfield, Missouri down to Addison, Texas. This airplane is absolutely gorgeous. I love flying it. It's very, very detailed, and you will see why later on. Check out the swept wing on this airplane with the giant winglets that are actually behind those engines, which makes it very easy to wing strike on the takeoff rotation part whenever you have a crosswind. You can see the tail on this thing is absolutely huge, so imagine we had a crosswind from the right-hand side hitting the airplane. It would weather vane the nose to the right into that wind, so you have to use your rudder inputs as needed. These engines are massive and they are very heavy, and the nose on the airplane is very light. So that means you have to de-rotate it or push the nose down when you are landing or after you touch down. But you can see the attention to detail is fantastic. Today we're flying November 720 Charlie Charlie. Beautiful paint by Ryan BATC on FlightSim.to. I have the APU running right now. Nav lights are on. You can see just how gorgeous the airplane is. Sounds by Boris, so you can never expect anything less than excellent when it comes to the sounds from Boris. And welcome on board the Citation 10. There's a lot of cool little bells and whistles. We open up the doors here. You can see back here we can actually check and make sure that we have snacks. That's the important thing, right? We have an EFB with a bunch of options and things we can do. Today we're flying down to Addison, so we've already got everything ready to go as far as that is. Runway 20 out of here. Kamal is our transition we're taking on the slant 3 arrival into Texas today. Emergency lights are in the arm position and passenger seatbelt signs are on, and we are aligned on the IRS, and the engines are in the idle cutoff position as they should be. We just need to get our weather, and then we need to get out of here with some clearance. So let's go ahead and get our weather. Holistic winds are 280 at 9 knots, 10 miles of visibility. Then we have clear skies, altimeter 3013. We're going to check that. Beautiful. We'll call up ground and get our IFR clearance. Springfield ground, good afternoon. Citation November 720 Charlie Charlie IFR to Addison, and we have the weather.
November 720 Charlie Charlie Springfield ground cleared to Addison Airport. Radar vectors Kamal, then is filed. Maintain 5,000. Expect flight level 430 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 121.1, squawk 1736.
Cleared to Addison Airport. Radar vectors Kamal, then is filed. Maintain 5,000. Expect flight level 430 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 121.1, squawk 1736. Citation November 720 Charlie Charlie.
November 720 Charlie Charlie, read back correct. Call me back when ready for start or taxi.
All right, we got our clearance, 5,000 feet.
Skywest
Radar vectors
50,
to
Chicago
Kamal.
O'Hare.
And SkyWest is getting ready to go to IFR to Chicago O'Hare. Beautiful. All right, do our tests. All those are good. Love this little stick shaker you're going to see here in a second. Put mine on down here too. Temp's good. Overspeed. And then we have our AOA. So this is the stick shaker. Look at that. So cool. That's good there. All right, and off. Wonderful. And if you wanted to do the APU test, you could do that there. That's where you get the APU fire light. You get those lights there and those lights, so all that looks good to me. All right, folks, you ready to go to Addison? Wonderful. We're going to close the cabin door here, and we're going to get the engines fired up, and we're going to head out. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful, and it's locked. Wonderful. All right, beacon light goes to the on position. We have our bleed air, all that's good to go there. All the switches down here look good. We're ready for the before start checklist. APU's on. Parking brake is set. Wheel chocks are removed. Cabin doors closed and locked. Passenger briefing complete. Seatbelts, harnesses, pedals adjusted, secured. Cockpit side windows are closed and latched. ICAS be on checklist. We're not going to do that today. ATIS clearance FMS as required. It's good to go. Flight instruments, avionics checked. Fuel quantity and balance. Did I do that one? That is a good question. 5270. And the fuel is correct. Fantastic. Starting the airplane is actually pretty straightforward. So we have the beacon light on, and all we have to do is hit the right-hand side. And then when we get to about 18% on N2, we introduce fuel by clicking this little spot right here. Pretty simple. All right, that is a good start. We can hear the PTU barking. Fantastic. We're hanging out right at 64 N2, so we'll do the same thing on the left-hand side. There's the left start. N2, we're looking for about 18%. Anywhere over 10, you can do it. There we go. And we're watching those instruments to make sure everything is going well there. There's N1 rotation right there. Oil pressure's coming up. Watching ITT looks good. It's going to stabilize here in just a few. And believe it or not, you leave the APU on during climb. I know that's kind of weird in an airplane like this, but you do. So we're not going to mess around with that. Let's go ahead and put flaps 15. There we go, 15 indicated there, and we're going to get 15 here on the ICAS. And we're going to set our takeoff trim as well. We have to do another check on this one before we take the runway, because sometimes this will move around on us when we get closer to the runway. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Everything else looks great to me. Flight controls are checked. Flaps 15. Speed brakes checked and stowed. IRSs are aligned. No flags. Anti-ice systems are off. Pressurization is set. Passenger advisory lights. Pass safety. Not worried about that. We're ready to taxi on out of here. Let's give them a call. Springfield ground. Citation 720 Charlie Charlie. We're ready to taxi.
November 720 Charlie Charlie. Runway 20 taxi via Bravo. November.
Runway 20 taxi via Bravo. November. Citation 720 Charlie Charlie. All right, parking brake is released, and we are ready to get on out of here. Roll into the front like that, add a little bit of power. I love these little screws they added up here so we don't have to go down here and mess with everything right there. And maintain situational awareness, which is important when flying, right? Yes, it is. All right, off to the right side here. We're gonna do our reverser check. Now, the lights don't work as they're supposed to, but in the Citation 10 on the taxi out, you would go reverse, idle reverse, like that, and then you would do the stow, and you would check the stow, and that was good. Good enough as we can replicate it for the most part. And double checking stab trim is looking good. 15.
November 720 Charlie Charlie. Contact Springfield Tower 119.9er. Have a good afternoon.
Springfield Tower 119.9er. Citation 720 Charlie Charlie. All right, wonderful. We're on tower now. We'll talk to them in a minute. So our first initial fix is going to be Kamal. We're expecting radar vectors off of runway 20. Anything after 80 knots or before 80 knots, we're going to reject the takeoff. That's going to be loss of control, major malfunction with the engine, all that. Anything after V1, we're going to take it to the sky. Review of our conditions today will be a left turn, left downwind for runway 20. We'll shoot the visual approach runway 20. And if we need any navigational aid, we do have the Springfield VOR nearby that we can utilize as we need. So all is well there. Taxi off to the right-hand side here. We're going to give tower a call. Springfield Tower, good afternoon. Citation 720 Charlie Charlie. Ready to go, runway 20.
November 720 Charlie Charlie Springfield Tower, wind 280 at Niner. Fly runway heading, runway 20 cleared for takeoff.
Fly runway heading, runway 20 clear for takeoff. Citation 720 Charlie Charlie. Lining up on the runway. Now on the Citation, you just send it. You don't have to let the engines stabilize. The FlightFX is going to take care of that and will manage the takeoff power. Airspeed's alive. Neutral at 100. V1 and rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Wonderful. Flight level change. And heading after we get that squared away.
November 720, Charlie Charlie, contact Springfield departure. Have a good afternoon.
Over to departure. See you next time. Citation 720 Charlie Charlie. All right, so run heading on that. Autopilot is on. And just enjoy the climb. Passing through 10,000 feet. Landing lights go to the off position. And we are climbing on the cabin, looking good here after takeoff. Checklist, landing gears up, lights are out, flaps are up. Throttles are in the climb detent. Anti-ice is off. Engine sync knobs off. Pressurization we checked. Altimeters will be standard at 18. Exterior lights as desired. APU is going to go to the off position now. Don't need that any longer, so stop there. Once it spools down, I'll shut the master switch off on the APU.
November 720, Charlie Charlie Springfield departure. Expect slant 3, runway 16.
Expect slant 3, runway 16, citation 720, Charlie Charlie. All right, we're going to expect the slant 3 as we did. So let's bring that up. Let's go to Addison, Texas, and enter on that guy. And we will go to the star. And we'll go down to the slant 3. Open that up. And we're coming off of Kamal here, so it's going to be up here. Yep, off Kamal. And then we got rubber, chicken venue, Cuban, and then into slant there. And then we'll shoot the RNAV 16 approach is what we plan on doing with that. Weather in Addison right now, winds are 1506 knots, 13 statute miles of visibility. And then we got scattered clouds at 6,000, altimeter 3015. So a high pressure system still moving through the area. Nothing crazy as far as that goes.
November 720, Charlie Charlie. Contact Kansas City Center 127.5.
Contact Kansas City Center 127.5, citation 720 Charlie Charlie. Kansas City Center, good afternoon, citation 720 Charlie Charlie, 17,000 for flight level 190.
November 720, Charlie Charlie, Kansas City Center. Climb, maintain flight level 4, tree 0.
Climb, maintain flight level 4, tree 0, citation 720, Charlie Charlie. Yeah, we threw a tree in there, why not? Let's go ahead and go up to 430.
November 720, Charlie Charlie, contact Kansas City Center 128.6.
Kansas City Center 128.6, citation 720, Charlie Charlie. Of 18, let's go standard pressure. Kansas City Center, citation 720, Charlie Charlie, flight level 190 for flight level 430.
November 720, Charlie Charlie, Kansas City Center. Roger. November 720, Charlie Charlie, cleared direct Kamal. Resume own navigation.
Direct Kamal, here we go, and nav. Cleared direct Kamal, resume own navigation, citation 720, Charlie Charlie. All right, on to Kamal we go. Let's see if that
November
top of the sense just
720,
passed it.
Charlie Charlie, contact Memphis Center 126.1.
Contact Memphis Center 126.1, citation 720, Charlie Charlie.
Memphis Center, envoy 3505, 16,300 feet.
Not expecting any weather today, but we're going to pop that over to weather, and then we're going to click on MFD weather. There we go. So weather is now on, in case any showers pop up. We're using a couple of sceneries today. We're using the scenery by RW Profiles for Springfield, which looks a lot better than default. I will say that. It looks fantastic. I really like that scenery. And then a freeware scenery we're using today in Addison by Turtle Tank 1997. Memphis Center, citation November 720, Charlie Charlie, flight level 390 for flight level 430.
November 720, Charlie Charlie, Memphis Center.
So we're about 26 nautical miles from Kamal, which our top of descent is just after that, and we'll use VNAV on the way down. Now with using Beyond ATC, they're going to be late to give me descent sometimes, so I'll start my descent anyway, and then I'll tell them I'm ready for descent, just because they'll get me way off my VNAV path sometimes, so that's why we're going to do it that way. You might be wondering, hey Jeff, why are you using flight level 430 going westbound? Well, that's a good question, because normally we would use odd numbers for going east, but things change with RVSM. RVSM goes up to flight level 410, and then after that, it's non-RVSM, like it used to be back in the day, with 2,000 feet of separation. So we go 410 to 430, 450, so on and so forth. So that's the reason why we're going westbound at flight level 430. This airplane is capable of a ceiling of 51,000 feet. That's a lot. So flight level 510. We're not doing that today, but this is what SimBrief gave us, was 430, and it is non-RVSM above 410, so that's the reason why we have an odd number. Memphis Center, citation 720 Charlie Charlie, ready for descent.
November 720, Charlie Charlie. After Kamal, cleared via slant tree. Pilot's discretion, descend and maintain flight level 390. Addison landing runway 16, altimeter 3015.
After Kamal, cleared via slant 3. Pilot's discretion, descend and maintain flight level 390. Addison landing runway 16, altimeter 3015. Citation 720 Charlie Charlie. Here comes our VNAV path. You can see it right there, popping up. We're going to be ready for it. And we're going to go down to 8,000. I know they said 390. It's kind of a beyond ATC thing, but they won't be upset with us if we just descend via the arrival, which we're going to do today down to 8,000 feet. We're going to wait till that gets a little bit closer to the middle, and then we'll activate our VNAV for the descent, and all should be well. One really cool thing about this airplane is that you can pull this speed brake out at any speed. Even if you were at Mach 0.9 whatever, you can pull that.
November 720, Charlie Charlie. Contact Fat Worth Center, 132.2. Have a good afternoon.
Contact Fort Worth Center 132.2, citation 720 Charlie Charlie. Yep, it's coming down the line here. We're going to go to VNAV, and we got VPath. Engines are coming back, speed descent. That is the descent detent. And we have begun our initial descent into Addison. That's simple. Fort Worth Center, citation 720 Charlie Charlie, flight level 420 on the slant 3.
November 720, Charlie Charlie, F-Worth Center, copy.
F-Worth Center, classic AI, screwing that up.
November 720, Charlie Charlie, contact F-Worth Center 123.925. Have a good afternoon.
Contact Fort Worth Center 123.925. Have a good afternoon. Citation 720 Charlie Charlie. He probably won't like to have a good afternoon, but he did today. There you go. Sometimes they're like, no, we want you to contact them. Don't tell me to have a good afternoon. Fort Worth Center, citation November 720 Charlie Charlie, flight level 400, descending via the slant 3.
November 720 Charlie Charlie, Fort Worth Center.
There we go. They're not upset with us. We're on our descent. Everything's looking good. .35 on the ground in Addison. That's going to be 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Nice and warm, that is for certain. Winds 150 at 6, 150 at 06. And then we had an altimeter of 3015. 3015. That goes into there. Wonderful. Next page. We're going to be dry conditions. Yep, no rain there. Flaps 35 landing. Anti-ice is off. Landing weight is correct. And hit next on that guy. Landing data. There we go. And all is looking well here. We've got 7,243 feet of runway. We're going to use 3,371 today. Not bad at all. And that'll be a VRAP of 128. VRAP's going to be 123 plus 10 in the Citation 10. So we're going to shoot right around 133 when we come over that threshold. I gotta say, hats off to FlightFX for this release. I absolutely love this airplane. It's a very, very high fidelity and high quality airplane that is filling that business jet hole that only the Lear 35 could touch. So really, really cool to see this thing get released. Although it's on the marketplace, and at first I had some stuttering issues and stuff, but that was because the airplane streamed. But after Sim Update 3 comes out, we're going to be in better shape with that, where we're able to actually locally download the airplane. And I think that'll smooth some of those things out. It's a pretty hefty systems airplane to just be streaming all this stuff in every time. But, I mean, it's doing it. I will give it that. And you can pick this thing up for $29.99 is what I paid for it.
November 720 Charlie Charlie. Contact Ashworth Center 127.6.
Contact Fort Worth Center 127.6. Citation 720 Charlie Charlie. All right, we're below 18. We got 3015 set there on the barrow. And all is looking well on our descent here. Expecting 8,000 there at Finger. And we aren't even close to that. Let me zoom in a little bit here, see what we got going on. We're almost to repay, and then we have Cuban after that. Then we make that right turn towards Finger. And we will start that, start the RNAV for runway 16, which is a lot of fun to shoot. Kind of shoots in underneath the arrivals into Dallas-Fort Worth there and Dallas Love. So it's a very busy airspace, and we just kind of tuck in underneath it there.
November 720 Charlie Charlie. Contact regional approach 124.3.
Contact regional approach 124.3. November 720 Charlie Charlie. We're going to turn auto respond on beyond ATC, so Civ Ryan is going to be my first officer handling the radios on the way down today. Regional approach, citation November 720 Charlie Charlie, 9,000 slant 3.
November 720 Charlie Charlie, regional approach, altimeter tree. 012, expect a visual approach runway 16.
Altimeter 3012, expect the visual approach runway 16, November 720, Charlie Charlie.
Look at our chart here for the approach. RNAV 16. We're going to change that in a minute. Looks like we're going down to 2,100 there. So it's initially 3,000, so that's why I was going to move that down to 3,000, so we'll stay on the VNAV path here. So that's going to work there. We're going to request an approach change.
November 720, Charlie Charlie, request approach change.
November 720 Charlie Charlie, roger, say approach.
Request RNAV runway 16, November 720, Charlie Charlie.
November 720 Charlie Charlie, confirm new approach RNAV runway 16.
Affirmative, November 720, Charlie Charlie.
November 720 Charlie Charlie, regional approach. Good afternoon, altimeter tree. 012, expect radar vectors for RNAV runway 16.
Altimeter 3012, expect radar vectors for RNAV runway 16, November 720, Charlie Charlie.
3012, down we go. Maintaining VNAV path. We do have an airplane in front of us here.
Skelly Tree 4, leave slant heading 255. Expect radar vectors for visual approach. Runway 16.
Skelly 34 is in front of us there. So I think we're following them in.
Heading 255. Expect radar vectors.
We're going to pull our power back a little bit here.
And Skelly Tree 4.
I'm going to go to manual speed, and we're going to dial that back. So we're not going super fast here.
Turn right, heading 255. Intercept the 16 localizer. Vectors for the approach.
Because I don't want to run them over. We're about 5 miles from them right now, so that's working out great.
Skelly Tree 4.
And we have our landing lights on below 10. We're good there.
Skelly Tree 4. Descend, maintain 2,500.
Approach checklist landing data is confirmed.
012.
VAP 127, VREF 122. We'll be shooting 132 over the numbers. Crew briefing is complete. Avionics flight instruments are checked. Minimums, we're good on that. Fuel crossfeed switch is off. Exterior lights is required. Flaps are up right now, and passengers have been briefed.
Leave slant heading 270. Expect radar vectors for RNAV runway 16, November 720, Charlie Charlie.
November 720, Charlie Charlie, contact Addison Tower 126.0.
Contact Tower 126.0, November 720, Charlie Charlie.
All right. Wonderful. Put the speed brake
Addison
away.
Tower, November 720, Charlie Charlie, RNAV runway
We're going to put our
16.
first notch of flaps in here. The
November
slats out there. It's going to help
720,
slow the airplane down.
Addison Tower, wind 200 at 8. Runway 16 cleared to land.
Back to FMS
Runway
mode.
16 cleared to land, November 720, Charlie Charlie.
To the flat limit. And we are cleared to land, runway 16. We heard that. Beautiful. Just go ahead and put my taxi light on for now so I don't forget it later, because I most certainly will. We're going to be busy here. And it's really good to do an RNAV into this airport, mainly because, you know, it's a busy airspace. Easy to get lost trying to find this runway sometimes with the haze down here is a little rough. So I'm going to shoot this right around 210 knots so we just keep that separation from that airplane over there. And it's working out for us so far. Not bad at all. A bit more power than that. Because we'll be able to make this turn at 200, no problem. So we just have our slats out. You can see that we're not flaps 5 or anything like that. Got a little more power. We're just maintaining 3,000 feet until we get our glide path. Go ahead and go flaps 5. Speed checks for flaps 5. Coming up on our left turn here shortly. Got a beautiful lake off our nose here. 0.5 from Bono here. Here comes the turn. We already see our VNAV path popping up again. We'll intercept the glide path, and then we'll put our gear down. We're going to go flaps 35 from there. But yeah, with this haze, it's really nice to shoot the RNAV so we can actually find this airport, because it blends in the city so well. Like, no joke. But we are cleared to land. We already know that. We're number 1 for that. That airplane is to our 11 o'clock now. It's 600 below us. Oh, come on. We're already cleared to land.
Skelly Tree 4, Addison Tower, wind 200 at 8, runway 16.
Why would you clear them to land in front of us?
Runway 16, cleared to land. Skelly Tree 4.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Skelly's going to try to get us into a go-around. You watch. There's glide path right there. Gear down. Slow it down. Yeah, Skelly's going to screw us, so we're just going to go ahead and hop off beyond ATC so we don't have any problems. It is what it is. All right, we're good there. Flaps 35. And now we let the airplane settle a little bit here. Closer to VREF. Got the runway in sight. We're looking good. 140 knots. And we're going to go make sure we're completely on flaps 35. And those speed brakes are stowed, which they are. Remember, we're going to be about 135 on our approach today. Before landing checklist, landing gear is down. We got 3 green, flaps 35, speed brakes retracted, ICAS is checked, airspeed, VREF, we're slowing down to it, autopilot off. Before landing checklist complete, I have the airplane. And 11 knots off the nose, about 2 from the right. A little fast. We'll start pulling our power back a little bit here. Yeah, I was gonna let Skelly get into us, screw us over with that approach. You see VREF down there at about 122. Remember, we can just shoot this at about 132 over the threshold. That's what we're aiming to do here. We can keep some decent speed all the way to the airport for right now. Little nose up. Back on the glide path. There we go. Airplane settling pretty well here. More power there. Especially with the 11 knots that we had there. Winds are changing a little bit. Be ready for that. As they tend to do. Air's back to 13 knots off the nose. We made. Let's get back to our VREF, man. My lord, this thing just really sped up with the wind changes that we had there. That's okay. And we're down. Speed brakes. Leather nose wheel down. Reversers. Knots. All right, we're on the ground. Let's go ahead and fire up the APU. So master switch is going to go to the on position. We're going to let the APU start to come to life a little bit here. And then we're going to go to the start position. Now we're starting up that APU. So we'll have it ready when we get to the ramp. All right, we made it to the Million Air Terminal just on our right-hand side here. So that's where we're going to actually go. And we're going to turn our taxi light off so we're not blinding them when we make our turn in here. There we go. Yeah, the nose wheel steering is a little sensitive, just a bit. Right. Let's set our parking brake. That's good. And then to shut the engines down, it's very simple. You just hit these little click spots. So 1 and 2. And that is a full flight in the FlightFX Citation 10. What do you think of the airplane so far? I think it's absolutely incredible. The night lighting on it's really good too. We do a night flight. Maybe we'll have to do that as well before too long. And beacon light is off. We have made it, y'all. Just shut this stuff down. And we are good to go. Y'all have a good flight. Wonderful. Let's get off of the airplane. And here we are at Million Air in Addison, Texas. What a beautiful airplane, up to flight level 430 today. Had a pretty decent landing, must say. The winds were doing some weird stuff on final, but that is just Microsoft being Microsoft. I mean, look at the windsock there. So pretty much down the runway for the most part. Didn't have to do a whole lot of crosswind correction. Although I would say our center line was not the greatest in today's flight. But beautiful, beautiful airplane. Highly recommend it. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. Hit the like button, helps out the channel. Hit subscribe if you're new and you want to see more Microsoft Flight Sim content. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care. If you want to see more Flight Sim content, check out this video, the INI Builds F406 Caravan 2 we flew from Wichita to Springfield.